Probably. We can watch it in about 40 minutes.
I wonder if they got their taps on.
I thought it was... I felt like really moved by that, actually.
You were moved?
I was moved.
Muggy
I know, I am a muggy kid. But I love Austin. The way I feel about Austin is not as strongly, but...
Is it the way I feel about Enzo?
It's the way... Probably. It's the way I feel about Morrissey. It don't matter what Austin does. I'm Team Austin for life now. Even if Austin turned around and like punched Sherry in the face, I'd still be Team Austin. That's just the way I'm with Austin now.
But we couldn't believe it when he was in the top 4 and he got jibbed on having to evict
Farrah, yeah.
And we especially couldn't believe it tonight when he didn't get the fucking boot. So
I could not believe it.
But do you know what though? The last show, I mean, for the last at least week, probably longer, he's getting at least 50 to, I would say, to 60% of the entire airtime on the whole fucking main show.
He should change his name to Austin.
Airtime.
I can't make it work.
Come on. Airtime Armacost.
Austin armour grabbing.
Austin airtimer cost.
Yeah, that's the one.
Right. Austin airtimer grab.
That's good. That's good. So then Big Brother was going, oh, well, I'm sure you can explain yourself to the people you've mentioned that you've upset. So he comes...
But that wasn't everyone.
So he comes bowling out the diary and crying, going, oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah, then he starts brown-nosing Davro.
He's like, I feel like an arsehole.
He said, I didn't mean to make Natasha cry.
Yeah, Natasha.
I love the way Americans say Natasha. It's brilliant. But he went, I didn't mean to make... But I wanted to come out and say...
She didn't cry. No fucking hard-faced cow.
He apologised for his behaviour. I wanted to come out and say, you know what, I meant every word I said.
No, I know what you mean. Cunts. Yeah, I know what you mean.
No one likes a flip-flopper.
But James...
Sibling and sliding is one thing. But flip-flopping, no thank you.
But James and Natasha were still looking at him like they hated him. Bobby was the only one looking after him. Bobby came over and cuddled him. I know it's a strategy. Yeah. But Bobby came over and cuddled him, said he was going to make him a cup of tea. He said, dry your tears, beefcake. He said, armour toast. He actually did say those words.
But what? I'm going to make you some toast?
God knows.
Your toast? Or let's have a...
And then he pointed at James and he said, that man over there thinks the world of you. I'm sorry, but he doesn't. Austin thinks the world of James, but James does not think the world of Austin. You do not nominate your best friend ever.
You don't... Mind... You know what, though? You don't... You're right, you don't put up your own alliance. That's stupid, yeah? You don't put up your friends, and you definitely don't put up your showmans. But you do put up, when it's UK versus USA, you do put up the opposite side.
Yeah. And this is...
And James did... it's a different situation, but James forced Austin into getting rid of one of his own at the end, which we know about, that's fine. But this is to actually directly put someone up. As Jenna said, you motherfucked your best friend.
Yeah, he did.
That's not nice.
He did. And then James goes, oh, Austin, we know what a good person you are. That's why we sit in the man tub together. You're a good boy. And fuck off, you patronising twat.
But all season long, I've been thinking, here's like a really good bro or showmance or whatever it is.
Stormy bromance, you called it on our last podcast.
It's not even stormy. It's quite smooth, really. To be honest with you,
Is it?
Well, compared to a choppy boat ride. I forgot what I was saying. No, but generally speaking, they have a good relationship. It's not like they fester on arguments, but at the end of the night, they're always joking.
Austin does.
They're back in bed or what have you.
And Austin has a go at him in the morning. Austin's like, hey, about that row we had last night. Yeah. But you're right. Austin sat in the kitchen with James and he said, did you target me for strategy? And James swore on his grandfather's life that he did not target him for strategy.
First of all, here comes the grandfather again. Now, is this grandfather alive? Now hang on. Austin made James swear on his sight. On his sight.
I don't understand that.
On his vision that it wasn't a strategic move.
Did he?
Then he said, on my grandfather's sight. Now...
I think you must have misheard that. That doesn't even make sense.
Could be. Could be the medication. I'm sorry, listeners.
So then we've got some live feed, and what do you know?
What?
James and
Are we back to 22 minutes a week, or?
James and Austin were back playing Happy Families again. Oh. We just got a shot of the toilet door, and James and Austin were inside, and we could hear a slapping noise, and then we heard, let's have a look, I haven't seen it in 3 weeks. And James said, don't worry, I'll show you tomorrow. And then James was standing outside the toilet flicking his willy at Austin.
Right.
And they were putting fake tan on. And then James got into a separate bed and said, I'm going to sleep in this separate bed.
Right.
And then Austin just grabbed his legs. Is that tombstone? That was tombstoning him, wasn't it?
It was, at the very least, a variation on tombstoning.
And just threw him into bed and said, welcome home. And then they were like putting their pictures next to each other. And then Austin was like, oh, you got to cuddle me now and spoon me. You said this earlier. And James said, I'm only doing it because I feel guilty.
So he does feel guilty for putting him up.
So he fucking should.
Why doesn't he apologise?
Oh, from my heart. I meant it from my heart. Shut up.
Do you know what? If that apprentice, is it James?
Yeah.
If that cunt, if he really wants to win that show, he should say, you know what? I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
I treated you like shit.
Yeah.
I shouldn't
Treat you like shit.
Treat you like shit.
Right.
I drug you down the fucking nomination alley.
I've taken the piss.
And you're fired. No. And I'm really sorry. And actually, I fancy you. And then just get off with him. And then he would win the show because that's what we call a journey in this country. You know what I mean?
That would be a winner's edit. So now we're on to tonight's show, the double eviction. And it was James and Austin woke up in bed together, and Austin said, Austin was dragging out the row, but who can blame him? He said, you've hurt my feelings. And James said, it's hard to hear the truth. Shut up, James, arsehole. And then Janice jumped on Austin, straddled him, and Austin tried to apologise to her, and Janice said she don't want to hear the apology. She said she don't give a rat's arse, and she can't even remember what he said anyway.
But she was doing... I've seen this move before.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Bet Lynch kissed one of the Nolans? Do you remember? Kissed her in such an aggressive way. It was the most... it was horrible. I felt unclean afterwards. But it was like that. It was like she was probably like sticking it to him. And she even said, I'm not putting you up now. I'm going to keep you to the final. I'm going to destroy you then. But that didn't go so well, obviously. So... But
she said she didn't appreciate being called the C word last night, and you wouldn't like it if someone spoke to your mum like that, which is true.
But she's a bad mother.
But then... Shut up.
Well,
then Janice had a go at Sherry for nominating her. I thought, you letting Austin off the hook and you're having a go at Sherry? I thought, that's a bit weird.
How? What?
Janice had a go at Sherry for nominating her.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you think the Grands just stick together?
Well, nah. So then,
how is it Reg Holdsworth got kicked out so quick, and yet his on-screen wife still there, deep in the game, right in the final?
Who knows?
Crazy world.
Now, Jenna said about James, he's a 28-year-old little pissant. Wow.
Alright. What is a pissant?
I don't know. I like it though. I like it as an insult. So then, Chloe and Stevie were in the pool, and he splashed some water on her, and she ran off crying. Could you make head nor tail of that?
Yeah, I could actually.
Go on.
I think he'd
oh yeah, he'd had a drink.
He'd had 16 pints or something, and then
Prosecco or
yeah,
16 pints of Prosecco.
Prosecco, Lager, Biter, all sorts.
Whiskey,
vodka, and so, other drinks and so on. So anyway,
she said she was getting out of the pool because she was insecure about being overweight. Oh god, yeah, she's so fucking fat, man.
It turns out, again, it's back to her Charlie Sheenism.
Yeah.
And that it's the drink, and that Steve, well, I think just because Janice told her that Richie doesn't understand her drink problem, she can't go to him. And she can't get off with him after he's had 9 pints.
Oh yeah, he stinks of alcohol.
Basically, you're getting pissed, aren't you?
Plus, you don't want to get off with him anyway because it's not a real relationship, isn't it?
Well, which magazine are you reading?
Yeah,
Closer,
not Real magazine.
Yeah.
So then,
Real, where are you, Madrid?
There used to be.
We're in the airport once.
Yeah.
Where was it? In Spain or something?
That nice. Oh,
we found the French Closer magazine.
What is it called?
I don't know, like Closer or something. But it had the exact same stories as our one, except just in French.
With more exclamation marks.
So
then,
yeah,
it was like that. So then, James was like gyrating in the shower, and Austin said, "You should be on your hands and knees begging me for forgiveness." Well, I'd like to see that.
Begging for something. But...
So then we come to the first eviction. We were shitting ourselves that Austin was going to go. But you got to think about it. Austin had so much airtime. Jenna had no airtime. So it was... Do you know what I mean? It wasn't really her fault that she went.
No, I thought she actually had quite a lot of airtime.
She didn't have that much.
All the airtime that she had was spent strategising and, like, being... Well... It's the same word, but being strategic, or going about nominations, or, you know, who's going to go this deep, and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know. She had good airtime, though.
Were you sorry to see Jenna go?
Personally, yeah, I was. I was. But I think once either Farah or her went, then neither of them were necessary. So.
Yeah, true. So what did you think of Emma interviewing her?
Well...
She wasn't as much of a cunt to her as she was to Farah, was she? Nowhere near.
No, maybe she got it out of her system on the first occasion.
Yeah.
But it was a short interview, and I thought Emma was crap, but I always do, so...
Jenna said, "This is just business."
Right.
And she said Janice should be committed. Well.
Okay.
And then... We come to the second eviction. Right. This is where we're really shitting ourselves.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And it was Janice. Janos.
So...
Can you believe it?
No Davro.
Phew.
No Davro and no Austin.
I want to see the close-up of James's face when Janice goes.
Maybe on the live feed.
No, tomorrow you'll see it when they edit it together.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be good. So that is definitely one in the eye for James, isn't it? Trying to protect this old lady, and then Austin stays even after all that actressing.
He wasn't even trying to protect her. That's the stupid thing.
It's fake ass.
He was just airtime grabbing.
Fake ass, no bald bitch. So then, when Janice went up the stairs, she said, "My Ritalin, keep all my gowns, wash my shit, Rocky, here I come."
Right, now, did she take the jumpers with her? Because all this fuss about the 4 jumpers in the hatch to your left, and then what?
She looked like she stuffed some fags down the back of her pants, and then she was like slapping her ass, and then was she slapping her fanny as well?
I thought that as well, but I thought that was almost too crass to take in.
And then she was giving them the finger at the top of the stairs as well.
But what is it about...
She's no wallflower.
But when Lee Ryan left through the mirror, he threw some fags at someone and said, "Here, take these," like Janice Battersby or something, and said, "Oh, I don't need them." But
they weren't even in the same year.
Whatever. But Janice is shoving fags down her knickers.
Selfish old cunt. Austin was right.
Yeah, damn right. And
then she did say to Austin, "Oh, I'm not finished with you," or something, didn't she? When she went something like that.
Right.
Anyway, so then Janice sort of started doing an Oscars speech saying thanks to Channel 5, Lucasade, Aquafresh,
Kool-Aid,
L'Oreal,
And where did Rocky come on the list? I think 4th or 5th, wasn't it?
She said, "If I took less drugs and drank less in the 90s, well, you and me both, Janice." And then Emma was like, "Oh, Austin was so rude to you the other night," and Janice was like, cut him some slack, he's young. Janice didn't give 2 shits.
Why was Emma throwing Austin under the bus during an interview that isn't even with Austin?
Because as usual, Emma thinks she has to be fucking moral arbiter of Big Brother.
If she's saying that, it means they don't want Austin to win.
Of course they don't.
They're going to fuck his edit.
Austin...
They're going to somehow edit it to make him look like a nasty, aggressive, confrontational...
obnoxious,
potty mouth,
sexually aggressive. Now,
Aaron Frew, what?
Yeah, Aaron Frew is not happy at Austin staying in the house.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I don't blame him. But the difference is, Aaron, if you're listening, there was a duvet between
a duvet.
Well, I call it a duvet. There was a duvet between the pair of them. Plus, James enjoyed it. Joel. At the time, looked happy. Within seconds, he was in the DR crying his eyes out.
Joel enjoyed it as well.
He did, but he couldn't admit it.
Yeah, that was the difference.
And there was no duvet.
That was the difference. So, let's break it down like this. Austin is the least famous person in that house, and he's the last American standing.
Yeah.
That's it.
So what are you trying to say?
Janice said